Hey, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim preaching this word of truth and sincerity around the four corners. Like Elder Malcolm will be saying, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Now more so than ever, because times are perilous. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that live amongst the heathen that look like the heathen. Like Elder Malcolm will be saying, this is not a black thing, this is an Israelite thing. So Israelites going to come looking like all shades and colors and their nationalities right about now. And shalom to the Akim and the few Akwath, the true believers of the hopeful elect. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy, and I was meditating on the kingdom, the trials and tribulations that we go through. And I ain't put up a video all day, so I wanted to throw something up there because I was listening to videos and I was on the plantation earlier. Matter of fact, in a couple of hours I gotta go back to the plantation. But I got this article I wanted to read dealing with the N-dub, the nigga woman. And this one definitely fits the stereotype about nigga woman always having an attitude and being moody. And she did some heinous shit. So I'd just like to share with the congregation, and just take heed of the advice of the apostles and elders and avoid the nigga woman at all costs, if you can. Because right now she's not in her right mind. She's toxic. She's dangerous. And she will get you to spaz out on her and get you locked up. And she will delete your kids. So I'm going to read the article, hit a couple of precepts, and Lord's willing, this will be edifying. Alright, this is from Daily Mail. This is like last month. But I'm just now getting wind of it. I forgot where I got it from. I believe I got it from the Elder Hawad. Either Elder Hawad or the brother Kabad from the Raleigh, North Carolina camp. And this when you read the heading says it all. It says mother drowned 1-year-old son in Lake Michigan because she was depressed about boyfriend dumping her. And notice that she drowned her son. If it was a daughter, if it was another female, she probably wouldn't have did that. The nigga woman has a disdain, hatred, has a passionate hatred for the males of her lineage, of her nationality rather. Not lineage, but of her ethnicity. Put it that way. Yeah. When I read this story, I was just like, damn. The worst place for an Israelite male is in the what do you call it? The worst place for an Israelite male is in the custody of a young Israelite male or baby, is in the custody of a so-called black woman. And it's the truth. They prove it time and time again. Let's read a little bit of this. It says, Illinois' mother accused of drowning her baby boy in Lake Michigan during a mental health spiral has been held without bail as she awaits trial for first-degree red rum. You see her name. It says allegedly walked into the water with her 14-month-old son, Sir Watson, last Friday night at South Shore Beach in Chicago, and let go of him before screaming to bystanders that she'd killed her baby and wanted to die. It says the child was pulled from the lake by the Chicago Fire Department's Marine Unit and rushed to Comer Children's Hospital, but was pronounced deleted shortly after arrival. Yeah, you see that? And they always this is what Edomite supremacy produces, and it has produced wickedness amongst our nation. And who's the ringleader of it? The second in command to Esau's queendom, and that's the so-called black woman. You know, walking around here with tattoos, showing her body. Like Apostle Gabas always said, if you want to know the state of a people, just look at their women. And you see our women are all bugged out and out of order. So I let you know that our nation is bugged out and out of order. You know? And I'm not giving a pass to the men neither, but we getting on the women right now. Because this is what this epistle is about. It's about this female. So let me get a quick precept. Couple of precepts. I didn't want to make this too long. It didn't need to be. It's just a damn shame. There's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 25 and 26. It says, I applied my... This is King Solomon speaking, which, if you know, in the reincarnation was Yahweh Shai. Or Yahweh Shai was King Solomon in the reincarnation. You know, if you know, then you know. It says, I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. You see? And this is how you know that King Solomon was on point. He said he found more bitter than death the woman, the female, whose heart is snares and nets and her hands is bands. What did the article say? That she had a mental illness episode, a mental breakdown spiral or something of that nature. She basically went off her rocker. Like, no, she's just a damn demon. This is exactly why brothers be calling these females demons. It's like they don't want any responsibility. You know, you look up the etymology of the word woman, and it means servant. And this is exactly what Eve doesn't want to do. She doesn't want to serve her community. You know, she wants to serve Esau. That's why she goes out in the workforce and gets these jobs that she could barely do, and they give her a pass. Like females being police officers and sanitation workers, all of these male jobs. And Esau did that on purpose. You know? He did that so he could tax the woman first off. And second off, actually, first off, is to destroy the family unit. And then second off is to tax the woman. You know? Bunch of madness right there. get a couple. I gotta hit the Apocrypha for this one. Hit a couple of precepts in the Apocrypha. All right. There's a book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 25, verse 13. And it reads, "Give me any plague but the plague of the heart." And heart in Hebrew is lab, which is your mind. So give me any plague but the plague of the mind. And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Yeah, because the wickedness of a woman runs real deep, man. You hear stories of guys taking care of children that they thought that were theirs, and then they find out later on, years later down the line, that the kid wasn't theirs. Thinking that they have a virtuous wife, and she'll be by their side. Come to find out that she divorces them and takes the money. you know. Uh, it's just a bunch. Like to be perfectly honest, just follow the apostles and elders' advice on women, and you'll do okay. Like they say, this is not our rest. Like Micah 2:10 says, this is not our rest. And a woman is known to be and the woman was created to be a pillar of rest. And since this is not our rest, our women are not our rest. Always nagging, trying to catch you up on, like say you wanted another woman, which is our God-given right to have more than one woman. She's always checking you and clocking you to see what you're doing, to see if you're dealing with another woman. And if she knows that you deal with other women, she gets jealous. And jealousy is not a female trait. It's actually a male trait, because the Most High gets jealous. Tells you in the scriptures that the Most High is married unto us, and the jealousy is the rage of a man. I believe that's Proverbs the 6th chapter. Let's go down, jump down to verse 16. It says, "I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman." You see? "The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth." And man, look at this female. Look at that. "The wickedness of a woman darkeneth her face." And the lady got a dark demeanor. Demon. Gonna kill that little boy. And we know that the scriptures tell you in Job the 4th chapter that whoever perished being innocent. So we know that little guy was probably paying for sins in his past life, most likely. He was only 14 months old. A year and 2 months. He didn't get a chance to do anything this life. He played out his judgment for this life. So he must have did some wicked shit back in the day for him to go out like that. But this doesn't excuse this beast right here. It says authorities said the tragedy unfolded just hours after Ammon was dumped by her boyfriend and kicked out of the home she shared with the boy's father and grandmother, following a violent confrontation that ended with police serving her with an order of protection. You see? You could tell. These women, they can't take order. They have to have some type of chaos in their life, and that's why I'm not saying all so-called black women, because you do have some that try to follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability, and they try to serve their man with all love and kindness and meekness and humbleness of heart. So I'm not talking about them, but if the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. These females, man, especially your modern day one, which is basically all of them. Well, not all of which is basically a majority of them. Your best bet is just to get you a pro statute, and keep it moving, because, like I said before, this is not our rest. So you get your rocks off, and you keep it moving. Like the great words of Bishop of Elder Manasseh Zakbar from South Carolina. You don't pay a hoe to have sex with you. You pay a hoe to leave. And when I heard that, I was like, oh wow. I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. These bitches is clingy. They want to stick around and see what you're doing and see what they can get out of you. They're nothing but succubus parasites, man. They went from being wholesome girls to and young ladies, young women, to being internet thoughts and TikTok thoughts, OnlyFans hoes, Instagram hoes. Social media has ruined our people, to be perfectly honest, and really the woman. This freedom, this fake sense of freedom that she has, she really doesn't understand that she's serving the demon Satan. She doesn't understand that. Her being out of order is serving his purpose. But she'll realize as soon as this society shuts down. I believe the word metropolis stands for mother city. I gotta do some more research on it. But you have, this society was geared towards serving the woman. You see, and not only that, that's why you see in New York they got that Statue of Liberty. And who is Liberty? This is called Lady Liberty for a reason. Let me get a couple more precepts. Lamentations, is it? Yeah, here we go. There's a book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 3. And it reads, even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. You see? And let me read that again. It says, even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. You see, even the sea monsters give suck to their young ones, like breastfeed them. The women of our nation, so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native American women, they don't give no fucks about their children. They give no suck of the breast to their children. They feed them Similac and Enfamil. I know because I witnessed it. I witnessed women do it. I witnessed when I was younger. I witnessed my mother do it. You know, the Lord got a brutal judgment for you females, and because majority of the 2/3 is women anyway. So that it's going to be a wrap for them. These people don't have no idea that the society is about to collapse and their little precious world is about to be turned upside down. And it's going to be a wrap for you females. And I can't wait, man. I'm tired of seeing these females all proud. They act like they don't need a man. The ones that don't have one, they act like they don't need one. And even the ones that have them, they treat them like shit. You know? Like Jeremiah 31:22 says that the Lord will make a new thing in the earth, that a woman shall compass a man. And I believe when you look up the word compass, it means to go around about, or to usurp authority. Basically, a woman doesn't have to go through a man to get what she needs. And you could thank Esau, the so-called white man, for that. Which shows that he's a fucking cuck, man. And so much shit wrong with this society, is not even funny. The children, matter of fact, let me get that. I know I said I wasn't going to make this long, but it's on the spirit to go in on the woman. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Yeah, you see? And this explains Israel to a T. The children are our oppressors. Them children is talking about Esau. And women rule over us. I remember when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, in my early 20s, and I got arrested well, not arrested, but I was with a group of guys. And this was before I was in the truth. This is before the Lord woke me up in a marvelous light. I was still in the world, being a nigga, smoking weed. I ain't really fight too much, but definitely smoking weed and trying and getting women. That's what it was all about. And collect and trying to collect sneakers. But I was hanging out with my worldly friends, my friends that was in the world, and the cops ran up on us and we got locked. We were smoking weed in the park. And that was my first time seeing a woman judge. I got let, I did a couple of hours in the holding tank, and then got let off on R&R. I forgot what it stands for. Recognitive or something of recognizance. I forgot what it stood for, but it was RR. Or release on recognizance. Something like that. When that was my first time seeing a female judge, I was like, wow. We even had female judges. Yeah, you can hear it. The weekend is here. I know you probably heard them bikes in the background. People trying to get their groove on. People trying to do stuff. Let me get a couple more precepts. I believe it's 21:9. Yeah, here you go. This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 9. It says, it is better to dwell in the corner of a housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Just curious to see what that says in the NLT. This is the NLT. It says, it is better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. And that is true, man. You get no rest with a quarrelsome woman in a home. Matter of fact, Salakia, let me get one more thing from the gallery. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. I snatched this picture from Elder Hawad's post. He be having good posts. His YouTube handle is GMS North Carolina 777. subscribe, and be edified. But look, dude right here, married life. Take out the trash. Pay this bill. You never do anything right. Compared to the single man peace. Bills paid, house clean, no stress, peaceful. That's exactly what Proverbs 21:9 is talking about. You'd rather live in the corner of an attic, you rather live in an attic in the corner of a house than to live in a lovely home with a quarrelsome woman, a woman that argues, likes to argue a lot. And I know being young, growing up, I used to see my parents argue a lot. My mother, she never was, she didn't argue that much, but she argued. I mean, what you expect? A Gadite from Brooklyn. You know? She definitely argued with my pops a lot. My pops, he wasn't the argumentative type. He didn't argue. He just did what she said. My pops used to shave off his beard, trying to please his woman. My mother, she passed on now since like 2017, 2018. And it was all because she didn't take care of her own health. She was a diabetic and she stopped taking her insulin shots. You know, who knows? Or this is how I know that women are bugged out. Like, why would you stop trying to live? You know, every day is a fight. Let me get one more precept. There. Trying to keep this under 30. All right, this is the last one. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 25, verse 19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Yeah, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Because this chick got kicked out and got an order of protection put on her, which means she was being combative, because ain't no man just going to throw a woman out of their home just because. Men don't do that. You know? So she went to the beach and drowned her kid. Oh. That's what I say. The Most High definitely got a wicked judge. Got a wicked judge. He got a massive judgment for you wicked females out there, man. When you read the Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, King Solomon told you, out of 1,000 men, he found one righteous. Out of 1,000 women, he found none. You females, none. You're a bunch of faithless creatures. It's just carnal. It's all hell. Sold to the flesh. All of that. Verse 24, it says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Let me get this last one. So it's in the Sirach, the 26th chapter, and the 25th verse. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefast will fear the Lord. You see? And a shameless woman it shall be counted as a dog, and a female dog is called what? That's right. What's my favorite word? Bitch. Just having a little bit of fun. But yeah, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. A female dog is a bitch. So you heard it right here from the scriptures. A shameless woman shall be counted as a bitch. Oh, a woman that always want to be up in a man's face, trying to combat a man, thinking she could fight a man. Need to get smacked silly. But anyway, This woman got a lot of this woman got a lot of judgment coming her way. Anyway, Lord willing, you was edified. Until next time, shalom to the elect.